I love you. Aho mitikuye oyasin. Jai Bhagwan. Namaste. Haush haush. Us. Hello. Welcome home, my fellows, my brothers, my sisters of this beautiful planet. I have made a great and sacred list of information for those of you who have asked me before how you can be of support and assistance to me in my personal journey. So, number one, I have an interest of you to purchase my art, and I have made multiple interfaces that allow a sharing of my digital creations that have been available to you. I have an interest in communicating with you the absolute truth that many of these portals or websites on the internet are taking a great majority of the income that comes from that kind of support, such as a maximum of 60% from some of these interfaces. While I am grateful for their platforms and their hosting, however, at the same time, again, I am not able to provide for you a reasonable charging of the content due to them being so doing what they do, you can say. So if you are interested, you can always reach out to me about select content and things like this. I also have a great interest in making customs and kind of co-creating, you can say, if you would like to be kind of the director or part of the influence and the creation of these things. The second thing is where you can join any of my subscriptions. I have multiple different places where you can kind of become a member of their online communities. And you can say there is like a gatekeeper that kind of takes a cut of the income, or is like a website you have to join, or a team or organization, you could say. And through there, I have been uploading and producing content. Some of you may already be members of these organizations or are used to what we could say outdated expressions of my authentic self. And I am attempting to kind of like re-navigate or rebuild and reconstruct this self-image, you can say, and self-expression. And I'm kind of changing some of the style of the content. However, at the root of everything, of course, I am still the I am that I am. Some of these places that you can also become subscribed and partnership with me is available to you for free, such as subscribing to YouTube, and also following me on different accounts like Twitter or Instagram, where I'm producing tons and tons and tons of free content all the time by staying connected with the community and kind of putting out my personal energy and just seeing who is my personal soul tribe, you could say. And another way is that you can directly send a payment of contribution. Now, this can be kind of for previous work that I've already released, had great benefit from in the past, where I've shared it for free if you wish to support my future and all of those things. Another thing that I really wanted to push is like funding my education. I can only stress that so much, just how much I absolutely love learning. So by sending like a direct input of financial contribution, I'm able to take those resources and invest in other people who are teaching subjects that I'm interested in. Of course, the aspect of college comes to mind too. However, things have drastically changed, and you could say I'm not super confident or having superior faith that someone's going to give me $20,000 to go to school to be an acupuncturist or whatever that will cost. However, that is a genuine interest of mine, and again, I will happily honor the agreement if there is an individual who is interested in funding my education in that way. However, I have interest in many other educational avenues. Like there's so many other people that I'm interested in hiring and giving them an equal energetic exchange for their work, you could say, such as Ikar Wood, Astaris Miraculi. There's tons of people. Abraham Hicks is doing a webinar today. I wish I could be part of that event in celebration for my birthday. However, I wasn't able to get my question in time, so I'm choosing not to be a part of that. However, I would love to meditate and figure out what I'd actually like to ask just for fun. I always wanted to go on her cruise. The other thing that can be supported and funded is my traveling. There's nothing I have loved more on this planet than having the opportunity to kind of travel to other countries and get to experience indigenous communities and kind of like really learning all of these like sacred things and kind of just things that are like honestly taught to you in the silence from just like being present and like walking through different airports. I mean, there's so many beautiful things that have just completely transformed the totality of my being. So I'm calling in funding for education and funding for traveling and kind of having that freedom to do all of those things. And every little bit helps. It doesn't matter if you only have $1 to give, you know what I mean? That's still $1 that I'll have the ability to take and invest in like other people or other places and have the opportunity to share with you those personal experiences that I am having and being transparent. And there's so many other people that I would like to reach out to and to meet because I feel like I'm just missing out on that just because I'm not in India or I'm not in different places that allow me to kind of receive, like, you know, you could say Shakti Pod or just information and different ways of understanding people. I feel like that would be just such a blessing to my life. The next one is booking a private session. I'm not here asking you to just give me money. I have put out endless free content. So I'm not expecting to be paid back for what I have personally paid it forward. So I'm mentioning again, booking a session with me, like a private, it can be through Zoom. I am also available for in-person sessions if you're interested in working with Convo or different things like this. Another idea is that we can have an exchange through Zoom or maybe text messaging or maybe an email or a phone, whichever way really works for you to be seen and to be heard. I have another service I love to provide in my sessions. I call it Pratyahara. This is Sanskrit. It means withdrawal of the senses. It's kind of where I have you close your eyes, connect to yourself, and it can be described as energy work, you could say, but it's more so like self-awareness and kind of taking ourselves out of all of our senses of hearing and speaking and tasting and smelling and all of those things and really bringing it all in. So that is kind of like a vulnerable payment within itself where you're trusting me, closing your eyes, and allowing me to guide you on an internal journey. I have recently created an official website. I believe this is trinamason.onuniverse.com. I'm still playing around and having a lot of fun building my own website. And on there, I've created portals for you to like pay for like hour-long sessions. And payments can be sent through Cash App, and it's actually one of my favorite ways to also receive as well. It's a very interesting way of navigating this financial world. Next, I would like to mention about like purchasing something from me. This can be a custom essential oil blend or maybe a sacred feather or rocks. I mean, I'm such a little gatherer, you can say. So if you tell me some ideas or some sacred words that can kind of give me an idea of how to build a custom kit just for you to like mail to you certain things, whether it's like a prayer book or different things, you know, and I'm willing to like work with you. Like if you're like, Trina, I have $100 to spend, then that'll give me like about, you can say $100 or $50 or that much money to spend on you and to put into your customary package. I always absolutely love building sacred kits to kind of send to you. Another idea is purchasing from me some intuitive guidance or a psychic reading if that's how you choose to view this gift of prophecy or however you choose to like accept like what I do, you could say. I'm also available for digital artwork to be produced along with like prints and so many other things. So if you have any ideas, I'm definitely open to discussion because again, I'm interested in basically continuing being a person who kind of facilitates and runs like my own sacred business where I am my own boss and you know there's no rules and there's no limits and it's just like a co-creation, really fun sacred space. Next is the Amazon wish list. Okay, like on here sometimes I have items to improve my life, like this can be like books or tools. Sometimes there's personal life items, right, like nerdy financial domination or materialistic things, right? Like I have a cross necklace on there right now. I have given my mom my personal necklace, so I've been calling in a new one for myself, and I have such admiration for different minerals, and this one I've chosen is sapphire, and it looks like the artist who made it, like it seems very beautiful. So I put that on there. I don't know if the item is for me or if it's made for someone else in the universe. So I kind of just put it out there on the wish list. If it comes to me, it's meant for me. And if not, aho, and let it go kind of thing. Some other personal life care items might look like cat care is like something else, right? Like I just want to feed my cat. Remember? Okay, if you've been around a long time, you remember I'm just trying to feed my cat. So that still resonates. I still have to buy kitty litter. I still have to buy cat food. I still have to buy food. And I like to purchase kind of, you could say, high-end food. You know, I like to buy kind of clean, organic products, sometimes produced by like private individuals who are kind of like growing eggs or like however you want to paint language to that. You know, I really, really enjoy that, especially if like it's like a family or people putting their energy into like, you know, doing the sugar cane or different medicines of food like that. I really love to use my food as my personal medicine and my spirit food and things like that. I have also a GoFundMe. Okay, we are like surprisingly close to goal, kind of, you could say. Okay, or like we're a cut there. I'm kind of just totally in awe of how many have contributed to my car fund, because it was totally my mistake, you could say, of sliding on black ice and ending up in a ditch and kind of totally ruining my first and only car. Which I love so much. I would just absolutely love to have a vehicle of my own again. I've been blessed with a partner who's been sharing his personal vehicle. However, it would be really nice and create a lot of freedom for me to have my own car, especially one that I can cover in stickers and kind of put combo and get my custom license plate. And I have this vision of it being a white vehicle, and maybe one that will allow me to travel across country, and I can just do 6-hour drives without worrying about the transmission or the engine. I'm not expecting to reach the absolute goal of $10,000. That's just like a dream thing. But if I do, hey, whoa, I'm gonna pop like crazy, like a wrestling crowd, like whoa, you know what I mean? But at the same time, again, I'm just like putting this energy out here. These doors are open. I'm open to receiving. I'll admit that sometimes there's a little bit of guilt and shame over honoring my own personal needs. You can say that this comes from like social engineering or some wider picture that I can't fully see and grasp. However, I am doing my best to work through that by being transparent and letting you know what I am interested in receiving and participating in. Definitely love the idea of having my own vehicle and decorating it and kind of having a completely safe and reliable vehicle that will allow me to drive to Florida to go see my family instead of having to fly all the time, because I absolutely love driving. And then I can also bring my cat with me. You dang George, like that's very exciting for me. He is actually the perfect travel cat. He really absolutely loves to go out, and he's quite a special soul. For those of you who have met him, I call him my little healer or my anchor whenever we are in service to one another. The next thing is tell a friend. If you've had a personal session with me, like there is no greater offering to me than doing like a word of mouth of being like, hey, I worked with this sister. We did this guided meditation. And oh my God, I cried my eyes out and I just had this huge release. I can't even explain it. It made me believe in God again. Or I don't know what your personal testimony with me is. You know, I've worked with so many different people thanks to the Purple Rose in Casadega. That's one of the main instruments of me like accessing this total part of myself that I've been able to like you could say gift the collective. And I'm not really fond of those terms. It does feel a little bit egotistical to be completely fruitful, and I'm attempting to kind of be a little bit more open-hearted, if you will, and humble. And sometimes I like to take the me out of that. That's not me that is saying these things, and that there is like almost like this infinite or a God or these things that I am still coming to know and to love and adore so much as I grow closer and I lean in, you could say. Share me, network me if you have the ability or the calling to share my videos or to like, you know, again, distribute me in any way, shape, or form, or make art of my art. I'm not sure what you are personally called to do. I will just encourage you to follow your intuition, follow your heart. If it doesn't feel good or you're not sure, and if it's a job, don't do it. Do what feels good. You're going to love what you're doing. That's what I'm calling you to do. The next thing is, of course, like and thumbs up my content. I know it's very silly and nonsense in some levels, but at the same time, this is absolutely how these algorithms work in this virtual network. Like there's statistical reports of people doing thumbs up and how that infiltrates through the ripple pools of things. I know there's like egotistical things in there too of like social approval. However, again, like attempting to kind of come from a different space of more so like we are one, we're all holding hands, we're all friends, we're all family, and we're all here to support each other in the ways that we want to be supportive and that we're willing to be supportive. And then, of course, the equal energetic exchange that, like, as you hold me and as you support me, I will enjoy the opportunity to serve you and to learn from you how you want to be loved, how you want to be served, and like what kind of services do you want to be paid for. Like if you're an amazing artist or you're a writer or you're a drummer, kind of giving yourself permission to kind of express through that and also receive from that skill and that gift that you have as an individual person. Next, you could always send me a personal message and you can ask me personally and directly, like how you yourself can personally be supportive financially, emotionally, mentally, to my physical health, or like you can also make an offering, if you're guided that you have something for me, like you have this book or you have this feather, or you have this thing that just like keeps calling my name that it's supposed to go to me, feel free to write me a message. I'd be happy to hear from you and to hear your personal testimony of what kind of messages or vibes or whichever, again, the words that you would choose to express like that thing that's moving through you. Again, I'd be open to hearing, if you do a certain service and you want to do a trade, like how maybe you do guided meditations or maybe you do breath work or maybe you offer something that would greatly change my path. I'm superiorly open to any type of like loving assistance to the betterment of all of humanity. And the next part is where you just leave comments, be interactive, not just with me. Of course, that's always like sometimes nice to get a pat on the back that, I'm doing a good job or that you're loving what I'm doing or you see yourself in me or things like that. But like leaving a comment and being interactive with the community in a way that like, the other people who are gathered here, that you're kind of talking to them like in the group chat and stuff like that. So the next one is teach me something. I absolutely love learning. You could call me a sapiosexual, but I absolutely just love to learn. There's like this part of me that, again, if I was superiorly rich or if I had the means, you could say, I may eternally stay in school and challenge myself to learn very complex subjects. My first one to huddle over, believe it or not, would be algebra, like basic algebra. I have to get past algebra 1 and 2 in order to go on to get my associate's degree. I've always struggled with that. In the past, I had great difficulty, you could say, with learning. Some would call me autistic or Asperger's or just the R word, you know what I mean? And I just had different processing difficulties, and this can be considered from trauma, from professional wrestling, totally botching and messing up, or car accidents, or just personal, emotional, and mental turmoil that has kind of happened in my youth that kind of like shaped me into the person that I am. Where you could say certain parts of my brain weren't really communicating with themselves, or different characters within the cells, whichever way, again, the split brain, whichever way helps you understand my personal path. I'm doing my very best to be a translator. However, again, I'm very eager to learn, and I'm very willing to go through those challenges of feeling dumb, you could say, and learning the hard way, or just through trial and error. It's like a basic person or child. I'm still in that state. I have always made jokes how I will forever be a child, because there are always things that I have not known or have not seen or have not grown intimate with. Like some of you might be really passionate about physics or astronomy or things that I just have no education about. And that leaves just so many doors open for me to learn. And there are many, many topics that I'd be interested in. So if you'd like to send me an email and be like, hey, I have education in this, or I can help you with math and help you understand on a personal level, and I have the patience to deal with your brain like the person that you are, because I can be very challenging and stubborn, and I'm just the I am that I am in my process right now, being 30 years old today. And I would like to say, last but not least, pay it forward, meaning it's okay that it doesn't come back to me. If you're not able to say a prayer of please or thanks, around my name or things like this, do a good deed for somebody else, someone who's actually in need. Maybe someone asks you straight to your face, hey, can I have a couple bucks? And of course, listen to your intuition if it feels inappropriate because you are concerned that they are going to harm themselves with the investment that you are giving them. But if there's confidence or financial ability for you to buy the really nice hot meal, not just some fast food that's just totally filled with nanotechnology, or so many other things are inside the food nowadays. But I would basically just encourage you to come from that place of love when paying it forward. And maybe you can tell that person, hey, I don't want anything, just pay it forward. And if you haven't seen this movie, maybe seeing the movie will help you get a better idea of what pay it forward really looks like. It's always been a very key instrument to my life and my personality of this idea, which is kind of why I've always just given my services away and just done so much of what I've done, because I have this faith or this belief system that there is something bigger than me, and it will all come around in this perfect equal energetic exchange as it's meant to. And the more that individuals heal on a personal level, the more that it like ripple pools out, you could say, within the human evolution and expression through time and space. God bless you all. Feel free to say some prayers. Thank you so much for those of you who have chosen to join me in this live stream. I see I have someone in the chat who's from Germany. Wow, that's cool. Welcome home. Thank you so much for being my brother and my sister, and just all of you. Thank you so much. Like, if you only knew. I don't think any words could ever possibly share with you just how much like your personal struggles and how much like that paid it forward kind of thing, because you had suffered and gone through such suffering. You were able to understand me. You're able to see me as I am. And sometimes that goes the other way, right? Like where people aren't able to see me as I am, and they have like an idea or a vision or a role that they would like to use me as the tool or the instrument to kind of channel and flow that through. And I have to admit, I have many, many times played the role of someone that I am not. And sometimes that have come from places of behaving from states of fear or lack of trust or lack of hope or lack of faith. I mean, lack of belief in God or karma. I mean, all these different childlike states that I am able to recognize now that I have grown and I have greater feelings around different ideas and concepts. And I have no expectation to change anyone else's mind. But I am welcoming my own mind to be changed and my own belief systems to be challenged. Because for me, as you have challenged my ideas and my belief systems, sometimes it just strengthens my own narratives. I have this wonderful book called Narrative Medicine. It's been so unique because in mindfulness, it has always taught me how the opposite, how to let the stories go. And I have found great benefit in both levels, from the Native American tradition of storytelling to also, again, practicing silence. So, oho mitikuye oyasne. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ho'oponopono. Jai Bhagwan. Namaste. Haush. Us. Sana, 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 sana. May we all heal. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we live with ease. And may we be free from suffering. Shout out to Sean for being such a great meditative teacher. I wish I was allowed to share you with the world. However, I will respect your wishes, and I shall continue to work with you in private. So thank you so much for your service. Aho Shanti Om. Thank you. Until next time, ciao.